Hello viewers, this is Michael for Scooby Reviews, bringing you a new podcast from my separate called The Project Red Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe so hard during this podcast video. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied. So, I'm going to try to do my best not to breathe so hard during this podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And also, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, then you need to get to watch this audio podcast recording. Now, with this everything else, anyway, let's get into the latest episode of Gavan Luminous. So basically, a detail, I want to start off where I left out a important detail in a previous review. I left out a important detail. So basically, I wanted to to do that first. So anyway. So basically, ever since that, Kunai, aka Gavin Jirai, tried to, got stopped from killing, to stop, ever since, Racing stopped Gavin Jirai, from killing, Death Gavin, it's kind of been, he's been at his own universe since that day. So basically, like, Jiraiya had orders to kill Death Gavin on sight and whatnot. So basically, he's in his sister's lab and whatnot, and basically, he was stuck. Hatara was, studying, raising blood that she got from raising and whatnot, and basically that's when Kunai, aka Gavin Jirai, commanding officers showed up, and basically he had some standing orders to stand down and basically stand down with Death Gavin and whatnot. So basically, his commanding officer, his bosses told him that, the order for you to kill Death Gavin on sight is now void. So basically, you stand down. So basically, so basically the higher up bosses doesn't want Death Gavin dead for some reason. And basically, Kunai and Hasana was okay, but still questioning, what the hell's going on. Anyway, let's get into the point. Let's get into the main of this episode. So basically, we start off with back on Gavan Luminous, Kiki's Earth, Kiki, who is aka Gavan Luminous. Turns out that some stupid president is gone nuts and basically put a bomb on the principal, and basically he's threatened to blow him up, unless Kiki shows up. So basically, turns out the student goes to their old high school. So basically, Kiki and Koto's old high school is where this hostage situation is going on. So basically, Kiki's Kiki and Koto bumped, was kind of when they got to the old high school and whatnot, they started having memories and whatnot, and basically they bumped into one of their teachers, Mio Sensei and whatnot, and basically Mio Sensei said that the boy, he's a good boy and whatnot, but he just had some he just had a one minor issue that's been affecting him lately and whatnot, that drove him to it. And basically before anybody asked, Kiki well, Well, I can ask him once I talk to her. So basically, Kiki went into school alone, and basically made it to the rooftop. So basically, the student, yeah. So basically, like the student, the student tried to, he said, oh Kiki, you're the most brilliant student that came out of here and whatnot, but I'm more smarter. So basically, it's just he he said that there's a time. So basically, the bomb attached to the student's phone and it was counting down. So basically, let's see how smart you really are. And basically, so basically, while the student was talking, Kiki easily figured out how to disarm the bomb from the phone and whatnot. And basically, he was kind of shocked that she figured out how to disarm the bomb, disarm the bomb on his phone and whatnot. And basically, say the principal mattered in like a second, or like 2 seconds and whatnot. And basically, the student came clean, I got ejected from. Yeah, I got ejected. I wanted to be just like you, become a Gavin like you and whatnot. So basically, I did apply to the Gavin police, academy, but I got ejected. But and basically, I wanted to become a Gavin like you. And basically, Kiki said that, well, I disapprove of you going this far, trying to blow up the principal or whatnot. But at the same time, you're letting your failure of your failure drove you to this. You should have. You should have not done this. But Kiki kept on. Explain that there can only be one Gavin in a universe and whatnot, which is a bunch of bullshit. What's a bunch of bullshit? Cause we know that Padawan wants to be a Gavin, so basically, we got two Gavins. So basically, so Padawan, I love tongue tie. So anyway, Kiki explained that there could only be one Gavin and whatnot in a universe, which is a total bullshit. Which is total bullshit, cause that's Gavin pretty much is from Raging Earth, and basically she's just saying that there could only be one Gavin in a universe and whatnot. So anyway. So basically, the student president realized his errors, and basically he realized he messed up, and basically he was about to go accept the consequences, and out of nowhere, we see Mia Sensei, the teacher, shoot a poison gun at try to shoot a poison gun at the student president, but Kiki shielded the student from the poison gun, and she got poisoned, and she passed out. So basically, Koto was like, what the hell is going on? And basically, she decided to go into school and set the situation. When she got to the roof of the school, she found Kiki basically laying on the floor, passed out from the poison of the gun. Turns out that Mia Sensei, this whole time, she wanted this was all a setup to get revenge on Kiki for causing this, causing him to be causing her number one student who caused this whole mess. Basically got him drove into it, and basically he used that to get to little Kiki here to get revenge on her, and basically turns out that Death Gavin is behind it, and basically gave Mia a negative motive to take care of Kiki once and all, to take out Kiki once and for all, because and basically, Koto was trying to reason with the teacher, but he was just not having it, and basically she summoned a emote monster, and basically things started to get bad from there. So anyway, meanwhile, Rachel and the others, detected the negative emote gear from Kiki's Earth, and basically they tried to use the transmitter to go to Kiki's Earth, but turns out that Guest Gavin set a trap for Rachel and the crew, and basically they ended up in some weird dimension where Death Gavin in his with his Gamatron arc ship in robot mode and a bunch of and two emote giant monsters Gavin's racing ship in robot mode, and basically it was just a trap with Death Gavin's robo and two emote monsters beating the crap out of robot, Gavatron robot and whatnot. So anyway, Kiki is badly poisoned, and she doesn't get any medical treatment. She could die from the poison. So basically, Koto had no choice but to try to become a Gavin to attack Kiki, but it didn't work. The transfer he tried to reason with the joy emote here to give her the power to become Gavan Luminous, but it didn't work. So basically, like Kiki said, there can only be one Gavin. There can only be one Gavin in a universe and whatnot. And basically, her intense emotions. She was about to get shot by the poison, by Mia's poison gun, and basically her emotions took her to a trans white space where she's talking to I believe a commanding officer that exists in her world, I believe. He said that, your intense motion to attack Kiki Bunga here. And basically he further explained that like Kiki and Mia said, there could only be one Gavin. He said that having two Gavins will put the universe out of whack. Put that universe out of whack. So basically, but there's a way to you to become a Gavin, but you have to sacrifice something. And basically, and Koto was why have to sacrifice? So basically, memories are all memories becoming a Gavin. So basically, Keiko figured that she's just temporarily become a Gavin. She figures that she's gonna temporarily be become Gavan Luminous. So she basically fine. So basically I sacrifice all my memories of Gavins and whatnot, and basically that means she won't remember Kiki at all and whatnot. So basically after that little conversation in that trash base, she was able to transform into Gavan Luminous and basically took down the remote monster and whatnot, and basically tried to reason with Mio Sensei, about But what type of person, and what type of guy that Kiki is and whatnot, and basically, and Mia Sensei realized that she messed up, and basically what she done, what she done was totally wrong, trying to seek revenge on Kiki for the misfortune of her top stupid and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, back in the trap that Deska set for Raisin and others, Raisin's Raisin's Robo was getting the kick so basically Deska Aqua was beating the shit out of Raisin's Gavatron Volvo and whatnot, with the help of two emote monsters and whatnot. So anyway, Kunai showed up at Gavin, at the space station in Gavin's universe. In Racing's universe. So basically, Kunai showed up, on the space station and Racing's universe, and basically, Racing's commanding officer, Commander Carol, was telling the situation that, telling that Gavin, set a trap for Racing and others, so I can't find them. So basically, Kunai said that, I will help you find them, and whatnot. So basically, Kunai took the express train and a backup Gavatron ship and basically used his ninja powers to locate where Racing and others are, and basically, working with the two Gavatron ships working together to take down the moat monsters and the power of the first train mecha. They were able to destroy the moat monsters. They were able to destroy the giant emote monsters and basically enforce and did some serious damage to Death Gavin's Arc Robo and forced him to retreat. So basically, Racing wanted to go after him, but his ship was too badly damaged to go chase after him, and basically was too badly damaged to chase after him. So basically, they had no choice but to go back to their universe to make repairs to the damaged Gavatron ship and whatnot. So anyway, we cut back to Kiki's Earth, and basically Kiki's in the ambulance. Koto was there and whatnot. So basically, Kiki was being treated for her poison, and her poison in the ambulance and whatnot. And basically, so basically, we see Koto holding Kiki, who's still unconscious. He said too bad, I'm gonna save at this moment because I don't know when I'm gonna lose my memory. So basically, I'm glad to know you, and fight by your side and whatnot. So basically, Kiki woke up and basically she did not recognize who Koto was, and basically it turns out that that commanding officer that she met in that trans white space said that didn't say that he had she said that you must there must be a sacrifice. So basically all memories about Gavin will be erased. But he didn't state that it had to be Koto. Instead, or Kiki's memories of her becoming the Gavin, or the memories of her, fighting beside, having Kato fighting beside her while she become as a Gavin, were all erased and whatnot, and basically Kiko felt cheated, and basically she started to cry and everything went black, and everything, the sky turned black and started to rain, and basically it turns out that the deal that she thought the deal was to become Gavan Luminous temporarily. She sacrificed all her memories about her dealings with Kiki, with Kiki and other Gavins, or that deal with Gavin will be erased for a sacrifice, just to become Gavan Luminous, but instead, it kind of it ended up erasing all Kiki's memories of her becoming the Gavin Gavin, and basically she did not recognize who Keiko was and whatnot. So basically the episode ended on this note where we see Keiko in the way in the back alley of the school screaming and crying, and basically this is how the episode ended on this note. So anyway, this was an okay episode. This was kind of messed up, a good messed up emotional episode of Gavin. So basically, I'm glad. I'm glad. I wish that I always wish that Koto would become together, but not like this. But anyway, what do you guys think about the latest episode of Gavin Infinity? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know with the comments below. Anyway, sign off for School Reviews.